Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign is cutting even more staff as his team hopes a massive restructuring can right the Florida governor's struggling primary bid. 38 workers. Now, that's more than 40% of DeSantis' original staff have been fired since the campaign launched just back in May. The move comes amid concerns the campaign is spending too much too fast. This, as the governor's chief financial officer is also leaving the campaign. Now, one of the staffers who was just let go was a man named Nate Hochman. He came under fire over the weekend for retweeting a video that included Nazi imagery. The DeSantis campaign official did not specify if the video factored into his firing. We can probably take a guess. Hochman did not respond to a request for comment. Joining us now, congressional reporter for Axios, Sophia Kai, and she's here to talk about all of this politics. Sophia, great to see you. Let's start with the DeSantis turmoil here. It's been a pretty unrelenting stream of headlines in recent days about DeSantis reshuffling or firing or bad money. That's not the momentum any campaign wants. Take us under the hood here. How worried are they that they need to turn things around and do it quickly?
I mean, I think they are extremely worried. In the first place, it's really overconfidence that you're hiring so much and spending so much money. Now we're 6 months out from the first votes being cast in Iowa, and they're doing this massive overhaul. I mean, we're talking about 40% of the campaign staff. He's trying to do smaller events. He's trying to be a little bit more cordial with press and mainstream press. I mean, those are big changes for a campaign that up until, a couple months ago has been very Florida-based. And
there's so many worrying signs, right? Some big donors have already maxed out. They've had trouble getting grassroots donations, the staff turnover we just mentioned. And then he's seemingly putting a pretty big bet on Iowa, which is a state that's never actually been the kindest to Trump, right? So Iowa would seem to make a place where you could make your inroads, but his poll numbers there have been slipping.
I mean, he either needs to do really well in Iowa or come in a very good second place, or, he might have to find an off-ramp for himself. I mean, it's the one state that Trump did not win last time around. It's a caucus state. And so DeSantis really has to make a big showing to show that he has made these changes. He's made that effective.
And one more before we turn to Kevin McCarthy, but one more on DeSantis. We are expecting, as we talked to the top of the show, the next federal indictment of Donald Trump could come as early as tomorrow, but certainly it's expected in the next couple of weeks. I think that's safe to say. How is the DeSantis team preparing to react to that? What's their play going to be when that comes down?
I don't know if it'll be any different than how they've reacted for the first two indictments. I mean, we did not see these Republican candidates come out strong to, stand behind the indictment. They're most likely going to say that this is a weaponized Justice Department. It's the same line that they've been using, and it's mainly because they're running to be more like Trump. They will likely be defending him when the indictment comes out.
Yeah, and I know you were just in Iowa, so you've been getting a firsthand look at these candidates on the ground. But we want to turn lastly to Speaker McCarthy and those comments just now. An impeachment inquiry is still in itself a significant thing. It could lead to impeachment. There was some theorizing of folks that I was talking to yesterday on both ends of Pennsylvania Avenue that maybe an impeachment inquiry would be enough. McCarthy, if he gives that out there, that'd be enough to satisfy the far-right members of his caucus who want who want Biden impeached himself. What's your read of how this could play out in the weeks ahead?
I mean, look, they've been talking about impeaching a lot of people, but now it seems like they've zoomed in on President Biden himself. But McCarthy has a pretty fine line to walk here, right? He's facing demands from these more extreme Freedom Caucus members, but at the same time, he's got to also worry about the moderates. I mean, he only has a 5-vote majority. So he's got to walk this fine line between kind of hinting at it, stepping his toe right there, but not actually following through. And that's really the key here. Yesterday you just played the video of Speaker McCarthy walking back the comments a little bit that he made to Fox News about the impeachment.
And that certainly, I think both parties would agree that if impeachment became a common political tool, that would be bad for our nation's democracy. We, of course, will stay on this in the weeks ahead. Congressional reporter for Axios, Sophia Kai, great to see you this morning. Thanks for being here.